Hey guys, I had fully intended to do a more thorough review of this lens, the 50mm 3.5 GF lens, but I'm rushed to get it out because right now this lens is on sale at a pretty amazing price on B&H at half off. This represents the best deal I've ever seen on a GFX lens and definitely the cheapest way to get into the GFX system as far as lenses go. Keep in mind, because it is half price and there's a mad scramble to get them, they are back ordered. It took a few weeks for mine to get to me, but the deal's still going and it's pretty incredible, so I wanted to let you know about that, but also just to give you my initial thoughts about the lens. If you've been looking at getting into a GFX body like this one, this is the 50R of course, and you're thinking, well, I'll just start with a manual focus vintage lens or two to tide me over, you might want to rethink that. Keep in mind that a decent adapter, like this one for instance, this is the Hasselblad X-Pan adapter, this will still run you at minimum a couple $100s, and beyond that, even a vintage medium format lens, for even just an okay one, is going to be at least $250, $300. If you want a lens that will fully cover your sensor, you're going to have to be spending closer to $500, if not more total. But beyond that, you really just have to be careful with the lens that you choose to use on a camera like this. Many lenses can't handle the resolving power that you can get with a large megapixel sensor like this one provides. So you'll be spending thousands of dollars on a system that will give you subpar images because the lenses just can't keep up. Or you might buy a full frame lens, decide that will get you there, but then you'll just be cropping because those full frame lenses are not designed to cover that much sensor. So again, sort of not getting the bang for your buck out of that large sensor. Not only that, but many lenses, especially vintage lenses, will not correctly account for the large sensor plane that has the added width of the pixel array and the UV filter on that large sensor. In the film days, remember that the film plane was a lot thinner than the sensor planes we have now, and that can come into play when you have such a large lens attempting to cover such a large sensor. If you're not careful, that vintage lens that you've chosen might just look pretty awful on that really expensive device. But this 50mm 3.5 GF lens, on the other hand, is optically near perfect, extremely sharp, center to corner, even wide open, zero distortion, well-controlled chromatic aberration, extremely fast focusing when you consider medium format, small again when you consider medium format, lightweight, weather sealed, a great feeling focus and aperture ring, and now extremely affordable. So you won't find a better lens anywhere for the GFX system at this price. If it sounds like I'm trying to sell you on it, I totally am, but only because I love you. If there's anything I dislike about this lens, it's that it has a 3.5 aperture. You won't be able to leverage that depth of field that a large sensor can provide with a faster lens. And perhaps a bigger deal though is that it can only focus at a 1:10 maximum reproduction ratio. It means that you won't be able to focus anything closer than maybe an arm's length or maybe a little more than an arm's length. On the other hand, with all those megapixels, you can always crop way closer to your subject with pixels to spare for most occasions. As for me, in addition to all the reasons I mentioned earlier, the reason I love it the most is that it balances so well on my rangefinder style 50R, making it very doable for the way I like to shoot documentary photography. Much more doable anyway than any other medium format package. In fact, the reason that I do own the 50R and get excited about shooting in medium format in general is, as I discussed in the video I'll link to above, it most closely simulates the experience of shooting photos that I capture with my favorite system of all time. That's the Hasselblad X-Pan, and I usually shoot 65:24 crop with this so I can get that same panoramic field of view as I can with the X-Pan. I absolutely love shooting this way, and I feel so inspired every time I head out into my America Southwest backyard to capture scenes that inspire me most in an image ratio that gets me most excited. And with a 40mm equivalent focal length, this prime lens gives me not too wide, not too narrow, flexible field of view that allows me to capture most everything I need to when I'm out there in the field. The sample images I'm showing you here are what I was able to get in just one day of owning this lens. Again, I normally hold off and show you a lot more photos and give you a more thorough review after owning a lens a good amount of time. but I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible to share that deal, which I'm not sure how long will last. But that's all I got for you for now, guys. Just a small video on a small lens at a small price, relatively speaking. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember to do good with your camera, and we will talk to you again real soon.